Okay, hi, and welcome to the Successful Surf Club series, a podcast where I chat with club leaders, volunteers, and experts to share stories, strategies, and ideas to help our surf lifesaving clubs grow and thrive. I'm Alex Walker, your host and the Member Experience Manager at Surf Lifesaving Queensland. I'm passionate about helping clubs strengthen their impact and better supporting their members. Each episode is designed to offer practical, real-world insights that you can take back to your club. Each episode, I'm joined by a guest who brings their own unique experience perspective, whether that's from running a club, supporting operations, or driving member engagement. Together, we'll talk about the challenges clubs face and explore ideas around growth, culture, recruitment, fundraising, and more. Our goal is to make sure that you walk away with something useful, inspiring, and relevant to your club's journey. Today's guest is Victoria Berry, who's the president of Maroochydore Surf Lifesaving Club, who will provide some insights into the transformational leadership she's bringing to Maroochydore as they move through the next few years. Hi, Victoria.
Hi, Alex. How are you going?
Great. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for giving up some time. We'll leap straight into the questions. How does that sound?
Sounds good.
Okay. What does it mean to you to be the first female president in the club's 109-year history?
That's a good question.
It's a big one. Sorry, starting off with a simple one.
It is, but to me, it is a bit of a natural progression for me. I've been in the club since 1989. I was one of the first females, not the first, but probably in the top 10 females in the club, and I've done a lot of things over the years that have been a lot of the first female to do a lot of things. From my point of view, Maroochidore's got an amazing group of female leaders in various roles, and it was only ever going to be a matter of time until there was a female president. I made the comment to a couple of our life members one afternoon. I may have imbibed in a couple of drinks before I made said comment and said I'm going to be the first female president of this club, and they made sure that it happened. So it was a pretty sharp trajectory, but given that I've been on boards for the last 30 odd years on and off, not so much of a shock.
No, absolutely. That's fantastic. Going back to, you've said you've been at the surf club for quite a while. What was your first involvement with Maroochydore as a surf club, and how did your journey manifest into this leadership? Apart from the couple of drinks.
Okay, I'll give you the short version. So as an early teenager, my father was involved in Maroochydore. He started on the finance committee. He was a local finance broker, which then morphed into him becoming deputy president and then president in due course. I hung around the surf club a lot, but didn't join until I was actually 16. And that was because the current chief training officer and her trusty sidekick basically talked me into it and said, you know what, you need to come and join this club. So in 1989, I went and did my bronze. From then, I just loved being in the surf club, loved doing patrols, and really got involved in everything that I possibly can. So as I went through the age awards, I had every age award I could for my age. A lot of, back in those days, instructors and examiners awards and things like radio, first aid, IRB, jet boat, all kinds of things. Didn't get as far as trot crew. Running was never my forte, and I was never going to get that gold medallion. I did go to Sir Adrian Kerr-Lewis camp as I think about a 19 or 20-year-old, might have even been 18, and I had two guys pulling me and still couldn't make the run. So that was never going to happen. But I did become first aid officer, chief training officer, club captain, treasurer. A couple of years ago, I've been involved in the finance committee. I'm an accountant by trade. So been involved in the finance committee basically my whole tenure since I got my accounting degree. I did spend a couple of years up north in Gladstone, so joined Tannum Sands and was actually the treasurer of Tannum Sands for 3 years, and then 3 years after I left Tannum Sands, I was still the treasurer, which was
Of course.
fun. Yeah. And then I came back as a second stint as treasurer, and I think it was during that stint that my famous words were said. And from there, it was straight through to deputy president and then president. So I did do 8 days as secretary last season. We had a gap where we had someone who was poised to take the role but was away and didn't get their nomination in for the AGM. And as most people may not know, but you can't have a club without a secretary. So I jumped in until she returned back and was able to sign and take over. So there's not many positions that I haven't done over the years.
Yeah. No, I think it highlights the fact that we've got so many pathways through the organisation now. And the fact that you've taken every single one of those all the way up through to, the top of your surf club in terms of leadership, I think is a testament to what the organisation can provide. What does greater inclusivity and gender equity mean for you, for surf lifesaving as a community, and probably even from the surf sports based club?
I think it's been something that's been happening naturally for a lot of years. I'm all for putting diversity and I suppose encouraging females through the organisation. I'm not a believer in putting someone in a role that they're not right for. So although we should all strive to increase our diversity and our equity, we need to have the right people in the right hats, and that to me is important. We've seen through Maroochydore through the years, as I said before, lots and lots of strong women have come before me and with me. We've had female chief training officers for many, many years on and off, and patrol captains and all kinds of positions. But I think it's important that we always strive to raise the bar and make sure that we've got the right people.
Yeah, I think that's an important highlight. I think there are too many times where, at an AGM or a committee meeting, there's a vacant position and somebody goes, "Oh, okay, I'll have a go," rather than being sort of all in to make sure that they provide value to that position and support the club as a whole. I think that's really important. How are you approaching leadership? Is there any similarities? Are you on the same path with your strategic plan, or are you bringing to this leadership role some diversity and change management?
I think there is change by default. I think at the moment, I mean, I haven't been in the role a long time, so I'm still very keen to be involved, and really all I'm trying to do is get out and listen to the members and find out what they want so that we can get the right outcomes from that. I think in some ways females are possibly a little bit more empathetic than males, and just brings a different slant to the conversations as well. Also, I've found it, if there's a bit of tension, that coming at it with that female empathetic side seems to break down the tension, and we seem to be getting better outcomes from conversations with lots of stakeholders. We've been having conversations with parents and kids and coaches and all the usual kind of things that you would imagine this time of the season, and things seem to be getting along pretty well so far.
Fantastic. Bearing in mind you're only starting in your president's journey, you've been vice president, you've held lots of other positions. Where do you think the club will be 10 years from now? It's an aspirational idea. And what do you hope your legacy will be? Understanding that the club is about to leap into a fairly significant rebuilding process, which is going to take a significant amount of time, effort, and money.
Definitely. And I mean, to be frank, the money bit scares the daylights out of me. It's a lot of zeros to be there. My legacy will be being involved and making sure that we make that happen. having a clubhouse that's designed for the next 50 years to give our members the facilities that we need to be able to patrol the beach is of absolute importance.
Yep.
I see us in 10 years with a greater membership base, having facilities to be able to bring more members through, and I suppose a better presence around town will definitely be helping with that. But we're actively looking, even though we're going into a period of transition with potentially no club for a couple of years, we're looking at what we can do to still maintain and grow our membership base through that. I mean, ultimately, our job is to get patrols on the beach, which is the I suppose the one underlying factor that we can't get away from, and to make sure that we're doing it well and that we've got a good variety of members, so it's not just a few poor souls who are there every week. We did that in the 80s and 90s, and we're lucky enough to have the club's grown since then, and hopefully will continue to grow.
Absolutely. And I suppose that change process, that project management around where you store your operational equipment through that building phase structure, obviously it'll be a demolition and then a rebuild. What's the timelines around that? Is going to be a good year and a bit.
Yeah, timelines depend on who you're talking to. We've got an amazing building committee with experienced developers and builders on that who are guiding us through that. One of the stalwarts there says 18 months, another one says 2 years. I'm being pessimistic and going 2 years on that. If it's any earlier, happy days. But even the relocation, as you say, and how we manage our resources while we have no clubhouse is something that's really important that we manage.
Yeah, absolutely. And that sort of consultative process that you're going through, I think, is an important part of your legacy and leadership to the organisation. The more we talk to our members, the more we understand their needs and desires. And I think that's a great sort of asset to you from a leadership perspective to have those conversations. So, well done, and congratulations on being the first female president of Maroochydore Surf Life Saving Club. I hope to see you on the beach soon. And again, thank you very much, Victoria, for your time.
No worries. Thanks for having me, Alex.